Hi, this is Eva for Once Upon a Timeline. Welcome to Midnight Mandela. Well, it's actually been kind of a long week for me. I don't know about you guys, but it actually did seem to kind of go slow, although the year overall hasn't. So how is everybody doing? I actually kind of goofed up on putting out the notification today. I picked out my thumbnail and everything. I had it ready to go. And then I just forgot to start the show and prepare it. So about 20 minutes ago, I'm like, wait a minute, I haven't done it yet. I thought about doing it, and I guess in my mind, having picked out the thumbnail and thinking about doing it, was doing it, but no, it wasn't. So I think the notifications went out pretty late today. Let's see who's in. General Sorrow, Vivian, Mandela Effect, Quantum, Texas, Lord Frybread. I think that's everybody. Chloe's in. Yep. Anyone know anything? Yeah, Jackie's not here. You know, usually I get the notification out, so that might be why people kind of expect to get notified. Actually, I have a lot of her stuff on today too. Oh, and Austin 108's in. How did I miss that? You weren't the first one. Okay, so I definitely feel pretty spacey today. And I've been napping a lot this week. Not as bad as right before last time, but it's been interesting. I went for a little walk today as I try to do exercise walks, and I noticed that there's an old church near here, and I wouldn't say the church itself exactly has changed, but they had this apartment complex that's next to it that I think is affiliated with the church, and that complex used to just be an ordinary complex, and so I wasn't sure it was affiliated, but now the whole front of it has a shape that mirrors the church. So there's like an old church, and then they put a new addition on, like a really old church. They put a new addition that has a similar kind of arch to the second part to try to mirror the older original. But now their apartment complex also has this tacky, goofy arch shape in the front. And as best I can tell, they haven't remodeled or anything. I mean, it's not a wealthy church, and there would be no reason to do it. And the paint and everything does not look super shiny. Some of it's flaking off in spots. So I'm pretty sure that it's an original. Then I walked around the back, and I walk around this church occasionally just because it's really cool. It's like over 100 years old, which is old for around here. We don't get a lot of ancient buildings in my area. It's not like UK or something where you can't barely throw a stick without hitting a 100-year-old building. So I went around the back, and there used to be like this. It used to be gated, like there was a wrought iron fence, and then that was kind of it. So you couldn't get too close and see because there was bushes and a wrought iron fence. So I kind of would peek through at the back. Well, now there's no bushes and no wrought iron, but there is this weird outbuilding that also looks like it's pretty old. Not ancient old, but it's not new. And that apparently has always been there. And perhaps that's why there's no fencing, because that's there. But anyway, it's open now, and it used to be completely fenced off. I can't see any indication that the fencing existed in this timeline. That there's no lines there or changes in the weed growth or place where it used to attach. But then it's sort of like, why have a fence around 2/3 and then just stop, because now you're not really keeping people out. So I don't, it used to make more sense that it was all fenced in. It's not the world's best neighborhood around here. Anyway, so Mandela's, I'm trying to think when that would have changed though, because it has been a while since I walked around it. So it may not be like this month's change. Supposedly I just noticed this week that the Sonic logo change, which happened in 2020. Oh, so they don't have Sonic around here. Let's see. Sonic burgers, right? Sonic Logopedia. I'm thinking Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm like, well, there are Mandelas on Sonic the Hedgehog. So it's Sonic Burger, whatever. I don't know what you call it. Burger joint. Drive-in. Okay, Sonic Drive-in Logopedia. Okay, 2020. Okay, I see what you're saying. I don't even remember that one. You know, I've seen these before. I don't have them around here, but I've seen the logo because people are always talking about it, and I don't remember that blue stuff. So I don't know. And this, the word Sonic coming off of the background like it's bigger. And I've never seen that one before at all. So it's been there, what, supposed to be 5 years? Okay. Now, I didn't know these ones, but I probably wouldn't have known about it until the last, like, 5-10 years maybe is when I knew about it. I don't know. Does that one look familiar to you guys? So, I mean, there's always, when these things happen, I was like, well, did they update their sign? Because some of the new franchises, well, a lot of the franchises now have to constantly change whenever they're ordered, and that's in their contract. So if the signage is updated, then they have to cough up and update. So it's hard to know, but, you know, you can kind of inspect, does it look like a new sign? Is there evidence is the old sign? Is there 3 tons of dust on it, or what? You know, those things. Sounds like the building near me that changed. There's no indication that it was ever anything but a small animal clinic. Yeah, I mean, like, I see these fairly often. And there's times when I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that that one building, I'm most sure about that side building to the left because it's so tacky now. It used to just look like an apartment complex. And now there's no question that it is affiliated with the others because it mirrors the front. I wouldn't have ever had a question. So that's fairly recent. That means that the changes are still happening. The other thing I've seen is there's this new tunnel that goes underneath the freeway, a new old tunnel. It's a Mandela tunnel. And that thing used to, when I would drive home, I could see just the edge of it because it went, I'm driving this way and it would go like this. So I could only see in like a little bit. But now it kind of parallels very much my drive. So now I can see all the way down it. And that's been changing slowly. I've noticed the last month that I'd see a little bit more. So I can actually see to the end of it now from that road driving home, and I never could before. And that whole thing showed up a couple years ago, so it's a Mandela from the start. But okay, so what's the thing in the thumbnail? So I'm always joking about elf ears, but apparently they are like phasing in. There's this thing called Stahl's ear, Stahl apostrophe S ear, and it's having a third fold in your ear, but I would say that it's phasing in because I've never heard a special term for any such thing. Like okay, well, they have an ear deformity, but no, they've got a special word for it. And and the other nickname is elf ear or Spock ear, which I've never heard of. And some of them are pretty cool looking. So some people have it altered, but I've seen a number on here that were, I mean, it looks good. It looks cool. Especially these adult examples, a lot of them, I guess if it looked really bad, maybe they would have altered it, but so it's kind of like, well, see, a lot of these are before and afters. So that one doesn't look so good, but a lot of these do look kind of cool. I mean, if I had them, I don't think I'd be too bothered. I mean, you can't hardly see my ears anyways, but see, they altered it. So I guess if the children come out with these, then they usually mold the ear. There's a way to just like mold it as they grow so that it molds into a normal ear. If you don't do that when they're babies, then you'll have to do surgery instead. So one of the reasons I think we're going to get more of this is that there's a whole word for it. And there's a whole word for it, but yet there's no wiki for Stahl's ear. And then when you try to find out like what percentage of kids have it, it's like all over. I mean, like I got everywhere from 5 to 7% of Europeans are born with some kind of Stahl's ear. Not, and they're not saying it's just any defect, it's that one. And then another one's like, no, it's like 20% of ear defects are Stahl's ears. Well, how many people are born with ear defects? That can't be that many, right? I don't. Then other places are like, well, it's rare, but not that rare, and there's no numbers. So I don't know. It just seems weird that there's a name for it if it's that rare, but if there's a name for it, there's no wiki, and it's kind of cool in some ways. Not all of them, but I don't know. I just think it might be phasing in a new method to correct Stahl's ear. I don't know why I'm spaced out, but see, like that one's pretty crazy. Some of them just look kind of cute and some are like super alien. So they said not always does before after. This shows the differences. I think we had a little thing on here a few years ago about like just a little bump on top of the ear, and now it's like a whole pinchy thing, and I don't think it was called Stahl's ear before though. So I kind of feel like this one's morphing and we're getting it, like it's zoning in. Tampering with ears. There's more variation in shapes in the elf's ears. I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, like, you know, I was actually thinking that if I had a child and it was born with elf ears, should I just leave them? But then the kid's going to get teased and all. But then later when they grow up, they might love them. Or they might hate them double because they got teased. Like, I've definitely met a lot of people, like, say they have freckles, okay? And then, you know how kids are, they'll just tease you for anything. I mean, I don't think it really matters that you have freckles, and probably those kids don't even care, but they just will find something unusual about you, and they'll tease you. So then these people grow up hating their freckles. And I think if they had never been teased, they wouldn't hate them. And let's face it, in adulthood, nobody really cares if you have freckles or not. I mean, I'm sure some dudes like it, but I never heard somebody, ew, gross, she's got freckles. So it's not really a thing to worry about. But so that would be kind of a tough one for me. You're going to leave your alien ears. Maybe in the current timeline, everything is so bizarre that it's probably fine to leave it, but I got teased about my big ears. Yeah, you know, I mean, like, if you had small ears, they didn't tease you about your ears, they would find something. They'll use your name, your clothing, your hair, you got a long fingers, you're tall and skinny, you're short, you're fat, you're not fat. I mean, there's like an endless thing. Like, they used to tease me about my name a lot, because my full name is Evelyn, and so they would say it's, oh, you're Evil Lynn. And then later they would say I was Evil Knievel, and that was the big teaser. So, yeah, I guess they couldn't figure out anything else, so they went ahead and went with the name. Yeah, I don't want to say some of them, like, some of the examples, it was just one ear, and it just doesn't look good. And I probably would have it altered if it was that. But if it's both of them and it doesn't look that bad, I don't know. It's a tough call. Hello, I noticed that you have already switched to summertime. Actually, it rained all day here, so I'm not sure what you mean. Did I take, no, I still have my sweater on. Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. The time change. Yes, that's right, the time change. God, I am spacey. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, in fact, that one caught me off guard because I didn't even hear about it. I didn't know about it. And my upstairs time was one time, and I came downstairs, I'm like, an hour is gone. So it's spring forward. So suddenly it's an hour later. And I went back upstairs. I'm like, no, it's. And I'm like, is it I had to look it up to see if that was on Monday. I was like, no, it was Sunday. Yeah, I think Sunday morning is when it changes. Yeah, so Sunday I noticed it. I had to go look it up and see. And yes, indeed, you're right. This weekend was the time change. And of course, it's got to be complicated because everybody else has a time change at different times. Yeah, we've actually got loads of rain. They were complaining that there'd been no rain, and we were already after Christmas for a ways, and there'd been like none. And weirdly, we had like no weeds at all, like none. None grew. I'm like, oh, score, I don't have to whack. Now, used to be they would manage to grow some, right? But they didn't. It's been weird. The last years, there's almost no weeds growing, even when it rains a ton. At least compared to before, I'd say there's like maybe 20% of the weeds growing that used to grow. Because it used to be if it rained a lot, it'd be like a jungle. It'd take forever to cut them. So I'm not missing them at all. So I don't know what's going to happen this year. So it's now rained like twice as much as normal, maybe. I know it's way over normal now. All in this weird season that usually we're done with rain. What are the weeds going to do? Like, they haven't really grown. They're not even, because it's late, will they not grow now? I mean, it used to be they'd always grow, so. So, because we just have a lot, like a couple acres. So nobody really landscapes. They just put in some trees, which is kind of landscaping, but they don't usually put in grass and stuff. And then we just whack all the weeds down in the spring when they grow up. Otherwise, the fire department will come after you. Yeah, self-setting clocks, but my upstairs one was not self-setting. It'd be kind of weird. You just go to sleep and you wake up and it's an hour different. If all the clocks change, you probably would never know, would you? In Europe, it's 3 weeks later. I assume you mean like the weather, right? All right, so this one Jackie found. It's interesting Jackie's not in. Because last week she's like, I'm going to make it no matter what, even if there's a hurricane. But hopefully she's okay now. Jackie found this one. So this one is an interesting one for me because I had seen the general concept of it a few months ago. And it was basically this idea that they were going to try to regrow teeth. And they had figured out this enzyme, a protein. It was a protein. And they said this protein like inhibits your teeth from continually growing or something, or growing more. Like without this protein, you'd have too many teeth all over the place. And then they said that hyperdontia, where people have a bunch of extra teeth, is an example of when this protein is weak. Now, we've had on here for like years now that something's freaky is going on with the teeth because people are getting teeth everywhere. They always have. Some animals, used to be just sharks had all the backup teeth. That was their claim to fame. But now lots of animals have tons of teeth. Some humans have like tons of extra teeth. So now they're saying 1% of humans have hyperdontia, which means an extra tooth or more somewhere in their mouth. And so the point was like a month or two ago, it just said we're going to block this protein and see if more teeth grow. But now the story is that there's a third set of teeth that exist as buds in your mouth already, which is kind of weird because why would you have that? I guess, are they going to say it's a vestigial and we used to be shark mouths? Because like none of the other apes or anything that I know of do like a third set of teeth when they get old, like they don't suddenly have another round of teeth. So why would we have buds in there then? Like that's just weird. It doesn't really make any sense. So this is what just showed up, and I believe it was last week that Jackie saw this one. Or they're saying we have these buds for a third set of teeth. So theoretically, what that could mean is that, say you don't have any teeth, but your jaw is normal enough that you would still have, like maybe you lost them due to a disease or whatever, you got them knocked out. The story now is if they block this USAG-1 gene, USAG1 gene, that would allow the third set that are buds to grow into full teeth. They're claiming so that's the new thing, this buds thing. I just looked all into this not that many weeks ago. There was absolutely nothing said about us having additional buds. They're talking about the sharks. They announced a clinical trial, which they hope to have ready for the general use in 2030. I thought the trial already started. How old is this article? Wait a minute. Okay. Now I'm trying to clear in my mind, but I believe it was the end of, it was like in December, maybe around January, December, I was reading on this, and they said the trial had already started at the end of 2024. So if now they're not starting the trial until 2030, unless that's a different trial they're talking about. With 1% of humans suffering of anodontia. That's interesting because I also found 1% have hyperdontia. That was a different article than this. So I basically just yanked up this article real quick 5 minutes ago. Become preloaded with the starting point. He said that his previous research shows humans have the start of a third set of teeth already embedded in our mouths, exhibited by the 1% of people with hyperdontia. Okay, they agree with me. Takahashi believes that activating the third set of buds with the right gene manipulation could promote tooth regrowth. If all goes well, in the clinical trial, which I assume has already kicked in, the world may have more teeth as soon as 2030. I think the other thing they were saying was this, there was some stuff like this protein doesn't code for other things, so they don't think there's going to be any weird side effects. All right. So yeah, that's the Mandela then, the buds thing, which I still don't understand. Yeah, you're one of the new reality people. That was just not a thing when I was growing up. We all had all our molars, at least when, before they yanked them. And nobody had, I've never heard of anybody having an extra tooth. That would have been like just unheard of in my old timeline. But we didn't have extra fingers everywhere either, so. We have tools and can eat without teeth. Yeah, it's not as easy to eat without teeth as it is to eat with teeth. Plus, you can start to lose bone and all stuff in there. So it would be neat if you could just regrow all the missing teeth. More teeth, more problems. Well, if we could take care of them properly without them getting damage, and I do think there's something off with the food and the nutrients and stuff, because I don't think it's natural for us to be fitted with a set of teeth that are always rotting and risking our lives. So that's the tricky part right now is it kind of sounds like um, all those buds will grow or none of them will, according to now. If they could target like just one bud at a time, and that may be coming, maybe in another 6 months they'll have always known how to do that, but right now that's where we're at. I would not be shocked if we get upgrades to this though. Just wait, they'll find out it does code for other things like regrowing bones. See, the tricky part is, will only the stuff you need grow, or will there be additional things? Oh, I got an extra arm. Now, if they can target it, but you know, it's hard to keep stuff in like one part of your body. So, wouldn't be surprised if we do some kind of weird gene CRISPR thing. Okay, this one, I believe that I even had a thumbnail of this. It's Jackie found this one, but I've had this on before. Marietta's Islands Hidden Beach. So I'm pretty sure I had this on, but it wasn't a full circle back then. It was sort of like a cave that then you could walk out. So it'd be like two-thirds of it or half. I don't think it went all the way around with like the walls on every side. So that's the, I think, the shallow end. That's it when the tide is high. See how steep it is now though? I thought that this backside was just sand before when I had this on last time. It wasn't a full circle like that. I mean, it looks pretty cool now. God, my voice is off. You know, I'm like just sleepy or something. I haven't even been talking and I'm not sick, just sleepy. Yeah, so something's going on with this. So unless there's another one that is really, really similar to this one that I had on last time, which I don't know. It looks like it's the same one. That's the thing. But there was no view like this. This would have been all just sand on that side. Moths. Puerto Vallarta. Puerto Vallarta. I imagine the heavenly spirit world, everyone will never need food or sleep, no conflicting divisions, no need for hospitals. Well, I think where we come from, there's just not a physical body, so then you don't have all the problems of a physical body, but maybe it gets kind of boring. Things are too easy. You come down here, you learn a lot really fast. It's like climbing Mount Everest. Like, why? I don't know why anybody would ever climb Mount Everest. I mean, it just seems like it's miserable and expensive, and a million people did it now, so it's not, the bragging rights are not even so big. So why do people do that? You know, why do people watch horror movies? Why do people climb Mount Everest? Maybe that's the same reason why come here. It's hard, but then if you live for eternity, 80 years may not seem that long. You go, yeah, that was kind of a tough extra tall mountain to climb that lifetime. Okay, so this one, I've been hearing about these pronghorn antelopes, but I'll tell you what I didn't realize is that they're not in Africa. I just thought all the antelopes were in Africa. I'm pretty sure that we did not have antelopes in America, in the United States, but we do. These are the United States antelopes. Western Montana, you guys had antelopes, and they've got, they're not even just boring colored. They've got these stripes and stuff. So when did I start seeing these pronghorn the place that I buy like porcupine quills started carrying a lot of these horns in the last few years. So like they showed up suddenly. I can get all these different horns that I couldn't get like 6 or 7 years ago. And this was one of them. These pronghorn ones showed up like 2 or 3 years ago. But I just thought they were another African antelope like all the other African antelopes. And here's the thing though. They call them an antelope, but then when you look it up, they're like, oh, well, it's not really an antelope. It's artiodactyl. It's calling it an antelope, and I am not familiar with there being any antelopes in the United States. They are the fastest land animals in North America and can run 60 miles an hour. Inhabit the mountain ranges of northern and central Nevada, but they are also found in other regions of North America. Okay, let me just see where they really are. Let's see. Prongbuck, pronghorn antelope, or prairie antelope. It closely resembles the antelopes of the Old World and similar ecological niche, blah, blah. They've been here since the Pleistocene, so they're not introduced. Closest relatives are the giraffe and the okapi. Wait, the okapi is another mandanimal. That's that thing. Is it me or are they getting darker, these okapi? That one looks really much darker. I thought they were giraffe colored. Let's just look these things up real quick. I don't think I've seen any that were that dark. They were, oh. Yeah, you know what? These looks like they've gotten much darker. They're like a brown like a horse now. Check that out. More stripes than before on the butt. This is interesting because it's a little bit more like the old colors. I think that's supposed to be a giraffe though. Big ears. Yeah, these things have darkened considerably. So one of the arguments that it it showed up and then it changed. Now here, that must be an AI image of it. I think there's a lot more front striping now than there was before. Let me just go to Google and see what we can dig up. See, that's more like the old color, but I think it's just the sun glinting off of them. There's like traces left. Ears are so big now, too. What was the last change on these? I think the last change was those horn things showed up. Weirdly, I'm not... Oh, so they had... What the hell? What's on his head? Oh, this is not... Okay. There is a big shift on this because they had this kind of... There was kind of these... how do you call those? Kind of the bumpy... It looks like it had stacks of rings or something, horns that were thin and went like this, and it came out between the ears more like normal. And that was the last Mandela I saw for these. But now they have these weird horn, what is that, between the eyes. So it's a little bit reminiscent of the giraffes, but yet it's different. Now maybe they're good, and that's what this guy's got. Although those are broken out. So what is that thing? Prehensile tongues, that showed up not too long ago. They can eat toxic leaves. Black tar-like secretion from the scent glands on each of their feet. They didn't say anything about those goofy horn things, though. Because that's a weird spot for them. They're not up on the top of the head. They're like... And then most stuff that comes out of the forehead's more like this, but this is... it's just different. Okay, so that has changed. That thing was not on there before. What, a couple months ago, maybe? Yeah, see? No, that's not right. Ah, the cat wants in. Hold on. This cat's getting spoiled. Right, kitty. Yeah. All right. She's in. Okay, so darker and those horn things. So I'm pretty sure they had a different horn things last time, and that was the Mandela. I do think the ears have gotten bigger. That's kind of crazy. I think they were starting to get bigger last time, but now it's like ridiculous. More stripes on the front legs, and then the back leg stripes are higher. And there's like a weird socks and lines thing going on, like almost like shackles on these front legs. And then here there's like, yeah, they all have like wrist warmers or something. So yeah, that's also changed. So it used to be just stripes. It didn't have these verticals. So that's another change on these things. It looks like they all have it. Okay, so those, yes, more upgrades to Okapi, or changes, or whatever. You don't remember any horns. I remember the last time there was these kind of goat horn looking things. They looked more normal, and only the males had them, so only some images had it. Yeah, they were like giraffe colored before, really close. Okay, there's a lot. I'm going to write these down because it's enough changes. All right, okay, let's just see if are there more than one kind? Oh, copy. There was only one kind before. But they all seem to be this new kind. I'm not really finding... it's also you know what? When I was looking up those antelopes, those pronghorns, and they said they were the only arteriodactyl left, like all the others, they were their own. They had their own group. But now they're saying these Okapis arteriodactyls, and I think that's actually changed in the last like week. Because I'm positive I was just reading that the other guys were the only ones. It is the only genus in the genus. It's the only species in the genus Okapia, and is closely related to the giraffe. Okapia johnstoni. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if that changes, because we see everything does split, but... Male, maybe they're saying the females are a little lighter. Still, I mean, that is still way darker. I wonder if we're going to get some new colors in there. It almost looks like there's going to be some reds mixed in. Okay, so they're calling those horns ossicones, which is the same that they call the ones on giraffes. Okay. Yeah, I didn't actually get a lot of Mandelas this week. Almost all of these are from last week. I have a bunch of old save ones. You guys didn't really have many. I mean, I've seen some changed around here, but they're not really ones you would know anything about. Guys, I don't know. We used to say it was the little kids are making them, but now it's the AI. I don't know. What makes the AI make stuff? Are they going to start glowing in the dark? I have not seen any mammals glow in the dark yet. Let's check this out. There's been some that have a glow if you put the UV light on them, but actually glowing on their own. Mammals. Other than ones that we've gene edited, like some cats. So if we get any... glows under UV light. Cats, bats, and wombats. These animals have fluorescent bones, teeth, claws, and fur. Fluorescent. All right. Insects and squid. More mammals can glow in the dark than previously thought. I'm pretty sure they're going to say with UV light shined on them. Humans have fluorescent teeth like all mammals do. In 1911, researchers reported fluorescent in European rabbits. We have fluorescent teeth? Have you heard of that? I mean, fluorescent. It's going to be like a cartoon. Your eyes and your teeth will glow in the dark. I'm telling you, it's coming. Black Ops military are going to have to start wearing like sunglasses at night. You don't see their glowing eyes. Giving them, okay, their ability to emit light when exposed to UV components. This property is important for aesthetic rehabilitation of teeth. More prominent in dentin than enamel. Typically emits a bluish white color with a peak of 440 nanometers, I think that is, when exposed to UV light. I just have not heard of teeth being fluorescent. Anybody heard of that? Like when you put a black light on things, do teeth, did they get all weird and creepy? I don't remember like creepy teeth smiles due to fluorescent teeth. It really seems that for most, if not all mammals, the fluorescence is a side effect of chemicals that are present in hair and skin, and that is not adaptive. I mean, that doesn't really make any sense to me, but it would make sense according to how we've seen the Mandela operating. It doesn't make Darwinian sense to me, but... So, like, everything's fluorescent. I'm just waiting for the actual glowing. So they glow under UV light. So I feel like we're really close, though. Because, let me see. Does nighttime have? I believe nighttime has UV light. Is there UV light at night? Why do I think that, though? Because the sun's not out. Levels are lower than during the day. At night, the main sources are nitrogen fluorescence due to interactions with high-energy charged particles and other artificial sources like street lamps. Okay. Even on a moonless, overcast night, some UV radiation exposure still occurs due to secondary sources. Okay, so if UV is always there, even at night, and if there's chemicals in creatures that can take UV light and convert it to visible light, then that means that theoretically they could glow all night because there's UV all night. Now, I'm guessing that the amounts of UV and the conversion are too weak right now to see, but you could totally see how this narrative could be converted to glowing creatures. All I know is, for me, the okapis were all like much lighter before. They were light brown, all of them. So now some of them are like a dark brown mixed with a reddish brown, and others are just dark brown. But none of them are the old color. There are a lot of bioluminescent animals. I believe there's a lot of sea creatures and bugs, some fungi, and there might be some reptiles. Bio. All right, let's see what we get. Organisms. Arthropods, marine animals, invertebrates. Fungi, bacteria, protists. That's it. Okay, no mammals yet. Still waiting. Capybaras were extinct in my old reality. So for me, there was no such thing as a capybara. Like, they weren't extinct, they just weren't. But they've been around for quite some time, like maybe 10-ish years. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't get if... I'm going to have to go and dig out a black light and look at my teeth now. It just seems to me if they always were fluorescent, it would be all creepy when you went to dance parties, exactly as you said. I feel like I want to like check again, but no, I'm pretty sure it said it was. So, which animal is... There are blinking bacteria, shimmering squids, blah, blah, blah. What are 5 animals that produce light? So squid is maybe the furthest up we have yet. Sharks. In the ocean itself, can't forget about that. Okay, so this one's another one. Jackie found this one, but I also saw this one like heavily making the rounds around Reddit. It's the pig butt. Was it pig butt? What is the actual worm? That's it. It's my brain is having trouble remembering that something that is not long and skinny is supposed to be a worm. Like, what is a worm? Anything, I guess. Hazelnut-sized worm is an oversized larva of Chaetopterid, maybe in the middle of evolutionary leap. So from one side, it looks like, they say, Mick Jagger's lips. That's not what I would call that side. And then the other side looks like a pig butt. The gathered pig butt worms appear to be adults, but researchers are not positive because the specimens also exhibit some characteristics of larvae. Chaetopterids are parchment worms, so called because they make papery tubes attached to the seafloor. So they found these. They don't even know if they're larvae or adults, apparently, but somehow they know they're worms. What did they even find those things? Actually, I should have checked. First described in 2007. Where were we all this time? All right. That one is from mid-2024. Almost all of these are just like the end of last year and recently. I don't think Jackie watches Reddit, so that means that it must be going viral in other places. Like, why now? Did a bunch of us just shipped into the pig butt worm universe, or what? Smoke covers up tooth fluorescence. Smoke. Like smoking? Because I don't smoke, so I shouldn't have had that covered. Yeah, I don't know. Well, they're saying it's that chiropterid thing, but how do they know it's that? Known as pigwet worm or flying buttocks. Okay, it's kind of deep, 2,800 or deeper feet. The worm has a segmented body, but the middle segments are highly inflated, giving the animal a round shape. This morphological characteristics are unique among Chaetopterids. Yeah, I don't know. Everything's weird in this timeline. Worms are fat, and lobsters pee out of their head. No, I'm not making it up. Just saw that today. So we've got creatures that breathe out of their butt, and now they pee out of their faces, actually. Let me open this thing so you could see. This is just a drawing, but, well, that doesn't help at all. But, okay, so the anus is still back here. So what are they splitting it? But the bladder is up here next to the brain. And then they pee out of their face, and then supposedly they use that also for communication, mating, and fighting. Something about the pheromones, or I don't know. Lobsters pee out of their heads, communicate with other lobsters. Lobsters have urine release nozzles right under their eyes. They urinate in each other's faces, a way of communicating, either when fighting or mating. Alright, who's writing this stuff now? You guys gotta tone it back a little bit. I call BS when scientists only discovered it. Now they said they discovered it in 2007 though, so I don't know. I don't know. Preliminal, is this your fault here, this lobster situation? Seems a little suspicious. Lobsters are grosser than ever. You know, I like it when they take the meat out and then they just put it on the side so I don't have to deal with all the legs and everything else. Alright, so I think I'm falling behind on my saved ones. I think we did Secretary Bird last time, and I was saying how I don't remember it being all orange in the face. Did I cover this dilated iris thing? I think I might have last time. Where am I? I don't think I covered plasma can make human voice sounds, did I? Let's start with that one. Okay, so the deal now is that somehow they can make plasma, like, talk to you. Like, it'll sound like humans. I don't know why that's so weird, but it's like, I guess they could project this and you would hear it as if it was there, but it's just plasma.
It's called the...
Alright. I want to get to where I hear the yapping, because it's in here somewhere.
Extremely uncomfortable. It can basically...
Stop talking. Darn it, I'm sure that there was an example of it.
Stop.
There it was. It's pretty close, too. Let's see if I can make it a little louder, because I don't think I can barely hear that.
It sounds...
Will be forced to fire
Now where this becomes...
So, assuming that's really the voice.
should make human voice sounds and commands.
Stop, or we will be forced to fire.
Now where this becomes...
I actually don't even get how, like, that is possible. Another, okay, modulating the frequency could be to stabilize. It's okay. It's achieved by modulating the frequency, which I don't feel like I really understand, but there you go. Now, I don't think I've had this thing on, and I don't know what it is. I wanted to have this... I wanted to have that as a thumbnail, but let me see if anybody said what it was. Alright, I got to that it's a lemur. That's right. It's 2 months ago. But nobody said what kind of lemur it is. So, it looks like it'd make a banging thumbnail, but I don't know what kind of lemur it was. And this image here is not a JPEG, so I couldn't really steal it very easily. And it's kind of small, too. So that's the main reason I didn't. But I'd really like to know what this beast is. mystery lemur from 2 months ago. I had this one on. This one I was going to... Because I just don't remember these birds. 2 crested caracaras. Crested caracaras. So I think all these wild animals just come and harass everybody now. So this thing is harassing this cat, which apparently doesn't care. It's weird because it's like a mix between a parrot and a giant colorful crow or something. And it's huge. I'm gonna write some of this stuff down. Plasga can make human voices. See, there's fewer people in here, so there's less talking, which means I talk less. So I'm getting through more Mandelas. All right, snow pancakes. We've had these on before, but I think they were ice pancakes before. And they looked a little different. They were usually floating on the water, and they were like made of ice circles, but now it's like this is all frozen, or it's snow. I think it's a frozen lake, but I don't know. It's just a little bit different version of those, so I put them on. Beautiful poison. Why did somebody say that? Okay, let's see. On Lake in the Jura. So they're poison? Are they joking? Snow pancakes appeared, but no info on. Not in English. Don't see an English version. Nope. Alright. I'm gonna give up. Nope. Still no English. Okay. Don't know. I've never eaten lobster before. Lobster is kind of similar to crab. So if you've eaten crab, that's kind of how it is. That's the closest I would say. It's kind of got that buttery. I don't even know how to describe. How do you describe a taste? So the thing with lobster is sometimes they'll bring you the whole lobster and you open it, and it's kind of hard to open because you could cut yourself. I think if you know your technique well, it's safer. But some of them, when you open them, there'll be like eggs and weird stuff all in there, and it kind of grosses out some people, and it's not really my favorite. Can't wait for snow waffles and snow breakfast burritos. Well, we have the snow donuts already, if you'll recall. Yes, lobster and crab. Like melted butter with those for sure. All right. Oh, this thing, yes. What is it? Okay. What is this one? We have a bunch of goats and hello. What is it? Taking bets now on what that thing is. Okay, so all the goats jump over. And this poor little putty, I don't want to play the whole clip because I don't know if there's copyright. But basically, they all jump over. And this little guy, well, he's not that little. Now, I feel like he's jumping around like an upset, like, border collie or something. But it's not a border collie. What is it? What is it? And it's got this long, waggy dog tail, too. Look at it. I mean, look, that's like a dog tail. And then it flops it. It's got like a white end to the tail and everything. What is that thing? So I kind of know. I remember it was a sheep. Can't remember what kind now. I think it said in here somewhere. What the F is that thing? The body of a dog and the head of a goat. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. What was it? What was it? He said it ain't a llama and it ain't a sheep. I'm pretty sure it was a sheep. Yes, it was a Naji sheep. That's it. Naji sheep. Naji sheep. It's interesting because nobody even knew what it was, hardly, except for this one person. It looks, that is, I don't think that's the Naji. This is the Naji. Was that weird thing we had on before also a Naji sheep? I thought that was a different kind of sheep, not a Naji. Anyway, this looks like what we were looking at. Remember those? But they had that like weird bent creepy face, but then they had these really long ears, so I don't think that's that one. Those horns have gotten longer on those things. All right, let's look up Naji. Sheep. Arabian Peninsula, found in the Najd region. Also Kuwait, Jordan, and Oman. Countries that have gotten a lot bigger in recent years. They have, let's see. They are about just under 3 feet tall at the withers, so the head would be even higher. All right, I'm checking this other weird one. Different sheep. Okay, at least that looks sheep-like. Those just don't look like sheep to me. Did they even have horns or anything? Maybe they remove it. I don't know. There's something weird. You'd think some of them would still have their horns. Oh, there's not very many photos of them either. Considering how bizarre they are. And they're in multiple countries. Assuming that those countries, the people there have cell phones like the rest of us. Okay, so that is a nod. Look at how long the neck is on that thing. That is bizarre. is not right. It looks like they glued different, like, so this part, what, it looks like a ostrich, but then it's got 4 legs, and then the neck is too long, and then the head is too small, and then... Okay, that one still has his horns, so maybe they do. That's an Angora. I'm just looking at the ears, because I don't remember ever seeing ears look like capiz shells or something. Maybe it's just the way that the ears are flicked on that one. Okay, back to Naji sheep. It seems like they all have that weird color, too. So, I mean, did they even have wool? It looks like they just have normal hair. Let's see if... Is it wool if it comes off a sheep, even if it's not woolly? Long, straight wool. It has long, straight wool. Maybe that's just hair. Characterized by hairy black wool. Hairy black. So, like, hairy black wool means it's hair-like? All right. I'm not sure how this works, but we don't need music. So somehow this lake like froze in like a ripple pattern. I'm not sure how that works. Stop with the music. I have not seen that before. Frozen ice ripples. That on there. They're called sun cups. Sun cups. Okay. The sunlight hits at an angle and melts some areas more than others each day, melting and refusing to form these ripples. Looks like they were frozen mid-ripple, but this happens in lakes that have been frozen for a while and have features around them that break up sunlight. But yeah, sun cups, usually high altitude. They happen in snow. Sun cups should only happen in snow. At least it doesn't give me frozen lake pictures. Sun cups. All right, this guy's saying it was snow that turned to ice, so it was sun cups. Yeah, there are not very many images of it. Okay. All right, another thing, it's been just crazy with the auroras. So supposedly this is a legitimate image of an aurora. I would have called baloney on it, but I've seen enough of them now that it could well be. I don't remember this particular hexagonal lava. So these are all hex lava, like they call it columns. That's it. So all of these are hexagonal, these columns. And I don't remember this particular one. There used to just be one place in the world, but they're just more and more that have these hexagonal columns now. I think one of the things that gets me is this one's the first one where I saw where they were like coming down from the top so much. Usually there's stacks of them and then some are broken off, but I haven't really seen them like they're hanging like stalactites or something. Oh, I think we've done these before. Yes, that was on a couple weeks ago. The question was, why is it flashing? They're light pillars. Why are they so high? And why are they flashing in this case? I mean, I guess it could be assumed that the light is flickering down on the earth side, but another freaky cat. They don't even look human, these things. The big, wide toes on these things now. Now I have this one saved. Why did I have this one saved? I think it was this that for a while this backdrop of stone was gone, and then it was then the mountain like way behind it, but it looks like it's stuck right on the back of the figures again. So that would be like kind of a flip-flop. The other thing is this hand is just freaking me out because in some it's so visible and then in another image you can't see it at all and it's all like blurred out. I just don't see how it's so visible in some and then you can't even see it in others. So that's Lincoln's hand. So that was the two reasons I wanted that on, because his hand is pretty bizarre and it looks like now this is right on the back again. All right, very weird creature thingy. I don't know what's up with it. So it basically like changes shape, this thing. Dang, I can't even, for some reason I can't control this one. Okay, so then it turns into that thing. So I don't know why it's all like, and then it, We've had those on before, but I haven't seen this starting shape for them. This, like, since when does it have that shape also? All right, this one was weird. It looks like, what is that character? This is freaky if you saw this running at you and you didn't know what that was on with those eye things. So it's just the white cheeks, but man, from a distance. That's why I have it on here, because it's crazy. It looks like that character Venom from a distance. And look at how good they run on their back legs now. I mean, they're like little dwarf legs, but they crank almost as good as people. It's like a cartoon. They run like this. Oh, another crazy cat. They're getting these ones that look like, I don't know, they have this high cheekbone and then this huge mouth and then the ears are all out to the side and then the ears are huge. And where's the top of his head? It's missing. It's like his eyes are, and the whole thing is creepy. There's a whole bunch of cats showing up like this now. This kind of face. More variation between cats is what I would say. So another crazy aurora. Supposedly this is real time. They move this fast now. I mean, is that true? I'm not like an Aurora expert since we don't really get them here. Not yet. You know, I might cut out early today because I swear I can't, like, keep awake. It's night. I'm just losing it. Ah. All right, I'll do a few more, but I might be going. I'm just, you know, it's funny. I'm not even this tired when I've been sick, but today I just can't do it. Supercell. Okay, so it's not a hurricane. It's just a goofy, weird storm. Or what? I don't know what's going on here. It's a while ago since I looked at this one. Stuff's not flying up into a giant vortex, so I guess it's just the front of a storm. That scared the crap out of me, though. I saw this shite with my own eyes. It was unbelievable. The footage on this video is not exactly from Sorocaba, but other cities around the area. There's even more crazy footage of the event around the internet if anyone else is interested. Huh. So, I mean, that looks like it's real time. That's just crazy. Out of a creepy movie. All right. I think I was thinking of doing this as the thumbnail and then I did it, but what's on the back of Mount Rushmore? As best I can tell, this is what's on the back of Mount Rushmore, and I can't believe this wouldn't be common knowledge because, I mean, I just feel like every person who wants to remind us that this area was stolen from the Native Americans and all that would never let this go. That supposedly this is what's on the back of Mount Rushmore, and I looked up other images where it just said back of Mount Rushmore, and there were people driving up to it that showed this. Interestingly, there were people who showed this in the background that did not comment on the obvious shape that is here. And this reminds me so much of that photo that was making the rounds where it just showed like, what if all four of the characters that are in the front, like they were stooped over and then you could see their butts from the back. And so you'd see four butts, and it was of course a joke. But after that thing got viral and over again, now what we don't get butts, but we get something really close is what's really there. I mean, how could we not know? This should be like an endless source of memeing and stuff. I mean, seems a little sus. A symptom of old age, being that sleepy. I don't know. I got old in 1 week. So yes, I'm going to end it with this because somehow it just seems weirdly fitting. But that's what's supposedly on the back. I'm telling you, I looked at many videos. I don't know how you could take video of this and not make some kind of slight comment about it, but a lot of them didn't, which is another reason why I wonder if it was always there, because how could you not? How could anybody not? Okay, I think I'm going to end it now. I just keep thinking I need a nap so bad, so I'm going to do it. Oh, and it's been kind of a slow week anyways for Mandela's. Heaven forbid I should catch up. You know, I'm dreaming tons. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to, my schedule's been all weird and then I've been sort of getting up earlier. So maybe it's getting harder to do 131, but I mean, still, I haven't been awake that long. I don't know what's going on. I hope it sorts itself out because it's very inconvenient. But I've been like dog dirt sick and still had more energy and less sleep attack than I've had lately. All right, people. So thanks for everything. Thanks for hanging in there. You know the drill. Think good thoughts, everybody. This is Eva signing off for Once Upon a Timeline.